Right, well, if we could start by asking, why is it that you want to come to Britain and to this EDL rally?
Well, number one, we've been invited there. We usually accept, if possible, most of the invitations that people give us in order that we might be able to speak out on the subject of Islam or radical Islam. For us, it's a good opportunity to possibly set the record straight. Sometimes whenever you speak on subjects, sometimes the news media doesn't get it totally right, so that's a very good opportunity. Of course, I personally, my ancestries come from that area, from England, from Wales, Jones. My daughter is married to an Englishman. They live in Plymouth there. So there's also my grandchildren. So of course I have somewhat of a desire to see England prosper, and of course to stay a form of democracy.
So how much do you know about Islam in Britain?
Yeah, I only know what I have seen on the internet. I am not totally ignorant concerning Islam in Europe. I lived in Europe for 30 years and saw the advancements of Islam. I have seen many demonstrations there where Muslims call for the death of UK. They call for the death of Israel, the death of America. I know that there is definitely an element there that would like to see England, probably the world, governed under Sharia law. They make statements like, we would like to turn Buckingham Palace into a mosque, and the Queen must convert or leave the country. Those type of elements, I believe, is something that the general English public, definitely the American public, would not be interested in.
Do you see a difference between the kind of extremists who might make some of those statements and ordinary Muslims at all?
Oh yes, definitely, definitely. We have always tried to make it clear. We here in America, and I assume also in England, we are definitely not against the moderate Muslim. We have here freedom of religion, freedom of speech. They are more than welcome in America, as I assume they are in England, to practice their religion, to build mosques. That is absolutely no problem. We are just definitely against that radical element that we feel is possibly much larger and much more dangerous than we realize.
So you don't think Islam itself is evil at all anymore?
Yeah, I think it would depend on the person that you are asking. I mean, I'm a pastor, so of course, from a pastor's viewpoint, we would definitely consider Islam evil. Yes, of course.
So you don't have anything against ordinary Muslims, but Islam is evil? What's your message to British Muslims when you come then?
Yeah, that's of course then a different message. Like I said, as a pastor, we believe Jesus Christ is the only way, and that makes every other religion, of course, wrong. My message, I know there's somewhat of a concern about me coming, but I can guarantee you I have every intention in obeying the laws of the land there. And my message to the moderate Muslim would be the same message I would give them here in America. They are welcome. They are welcome to be there, welcome to worship, welcome to build mosques. Like I said, I believe what is not welcome is that radical element, is sometimes their desire to change a country's constitution, to institute Sharia law, to make statements like, which I understand you all only have a limited freedom of speech, to make statements like death to the UK, that must somehow not come under your realm of free speech. But to the moderate Muslim and to the society in general, my message is one of, like I said, civil obedience, obeying the laws of the land, respecting the laws of the land.
You got a lot of publicity since your original threat to burn a Quran on 9/11. What lessons would you say you've learned since then, and particularly since you decided not to do that?
Yeah, I think concerning Islam, I haven't learned much. I believe that there's an element of Islam that's just as dangerous and radical as I thought it was. Well, what I have learned is possibly two things. Number one, a lot more people agree with our point of view that are willing to stand up. There at the church in Gainesville and throughout America, I have people come up to me, talk to me, but many people are afraid to speak out. They're afraid of violence. They're afraid of losing their job. Their pastors are afraid of losing their church. I mean, as you know,
is that Muslims' fault? Sorry, if they lose their jobs, is that Muslims' fault?
Oh, of course not. No, but people are afraid. They're afraid of that radical element, and I think the next thing is that yeah, there is a great fear. People are not willing to really stand up and speak out, because my message has been very clear concerning the moderate Muslim, that is not a problem. I have a problem with the radical element, and I believe there is definitely no problem, or should be no problem, speaking out against that. Actually, I'm surprised there are not more Muslims speaking out against that, or speaking out against the action of 9/11. There are some, but not in great numbers.
You see, some people are saying in Britain that the EDL is desperate for the kind of publicity that you got when you made that threat to burn the Quran, and that's why they're inviting you over. This is just about trying to get publicity.
Yeah, I cannot answer for them. I assume that that's not true. I assume that it is an accusation that is also made about me, that I did this whole thing and I am continuing to do it because of publicity. That is absolutely not true.
Well, isn't that why your secretary rang the EDL and asked for you to come?
I don't believe it was my secretary. I think it was my assistant. I'm not sure. He did contact them. We have contacted a lot of people.
So you contacted the EDL?
As far as I know, my assistant contacted them first, yes. And then out of that, the invitation came for us to come over.
Why do you think you have the authority to speak to British people about Islam? I mean, how many people are members of your church in America?
I believe I have that authority because of we just look around the world and we see what is going on. I mean, we see that in Europe. We see in Muslim-dominated countries there is no freedom. There's no freedom of speech. In countries like Saudi Arabia, I mean, women do not even have a driver's license. I mean, people do not even have basic rights in Islam-dominated countries. And if they are wanting to institute that in our Western society, then I think basically anyone is qualified to stand up, speak their opinion, and say we do not want this.
The Home Secretary has the power to ban a great many preachers from this country and has done so,
yes,
including preachers like Louis Farrakhan. Some people would say there's no difference between you.
Oh, there's definitely. I know who he is. I, of course, am not that familiar with him. I have not studied everything that he says. But as I said, I think my message is definitely much, much different because I am saying Muslims are welcome. They just need to submit to the Constitution and the laws of the country, and that acts of violence, that Sharia law, and the things that they have said, like I already repeated, death to the UK, I'm sure is not welcomed in England.
Pastor Terry Jones, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you.